Hi, Charlene Burke here with Grow Because You Know. That's www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Welcome to Morning Mindset Cafe. We are discussing Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. More specifically, Chapter 2. Those who have the PDF to read from, we are on Chapter 2, page 22. Those who have the book, it's Chapter 2. The first step toward riches is desire. It sounds so simple. I mean, you know, what do we hear all the time? We just if you want it bad enough, and what's your desire, and all of that sounds real simple, but you know what? It's more difficult than I thought it was going to be. It's what you're thinking. It's having that burning desire for something definite. And I think that's just as important to know, is that this is something definite. There's a, right in the beginning, there's a story about Barnes, who had it in his head that he was going to partner with Thomas Edison. And he had the desire to do so, and over time, he was finally able to get in front of him. It states right here that even this, you know, this translates really well to all of us today. How many times have we looked at somebody and said, oh, they got a lucky break? Oh, if I only had breaks like they had. Oh, if only I had the luck they had. Or, of course, they were able to succeed. Look at the people that they know. You know, those are throwaway statements. Those are throwaway statements made by somebody who doesn't want to do the work or doesn't know how to do the work. Because for every overnight success, there's 5 to 10 years of work that is involved in suddenly becoming the overnight success. Whether it's in public or not, whatever success somebody has achieved has taken time to achieve. The relationships that we have of those with those of influence take time to nurture. Why would you, a person of influence, a person of riches in terms of wealth, of riches in terms of network, why would you help me? You don't know me from Adam. What, you think these people just walked up to Warren Buffett and said, you know, I want to learn how to invest more, so here, work with me? Mentor me? You really think you go up to the front door of somebody and do that? No, that's not how it works. If you're looking for an overnight fix, you're in the wrong place, just so you know. So Barnes succeeded because he chose a definite goal, very clear, knew exactly what it looked like, what it was he was going for, and he put behind it an intense emotion that said he really wanted this. And beyond that, it became such a level of desire that he was able to do what was necessary in order for it to happen. So here's straight from the book. Barnes succeeded because he chose a definite goal, placed all his energy, all his willpower, all his effort, everything back of that goal. He did not become the partner of Edison the day he arrived. He was content to start at the most menial work as long as it provided an opportunity to take even one step toward his cherished goal. 5 years passed before the chance he had been seeking made its appearance. During all those years, not one ray of hope, not one promise of attainment of his desire had been held out to him. To everyone except himself, he appeared only another cog in the Edison business wheel. But in his own mind, he was the partner of Edison every minute of the time, from the very day when he first went to work there. Barnes won his goal because he wanted to be a business associate of Mr. Edison more than anything else. He created a plan by which to attain that purpose, but he burned all the bridges behind him. He stood by his desire until it became the dominating obsession of his life and family, and finally a fact. He didn't say when he got to Edison that I'm going to take a chance here and just in case this doesn't work, right? He didn't say, what did he say? Let's see, it says here, he didn't get in front of Edison and say, I will try to induce Edison to give me a job of some sort. He said, I will see Edison and put him on notice that I've come into business with him. He didn't say, I'll work for a few months, and if I don't get encouragement, I'll quit and get a job somewhere else. Instead, he said, I will start anywhere. I will do anything Edison tells me to do, but before I'm through, I will be his associate. See, there's a purpose to everything that he did. Yes, he was acting as if. There you go, Cindy, that's it. He put the right thoughts in his mind. He wasn't expecting Edison to say, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to bring you on as a partner in my business right away. There wasn't room for him there. And that's not the way it works. He had to prove himself to Edison. He had to prove his value, and he knew that. The other thing he didn't say, I'll keep my eyes open for another opportunity in case I fail to get what I want in the Edison organization. He didn't say that. He didn't have the in case I fail. There was no option to fail. He said, there is but one thing in this world I'm determined to have. That is a business association with Thomas A. Edison. I will burn all bridges behind me and stake my entire future on my ability to get what I want. He left himself no possible way of retreat. He had to win or perish. Got to tell you, when you put yourself in that position, I mean, it's just got to happen. It's amazing that suddenly it can happen. I've learned that with my own business, that I hit a point after a few years of being a business owner that while I can remember the angst and anxiety and ick and awful feelings I had of working for somebody else or being stuck in a cubicle farm or the environment that I was working in when working for somebody else, it's not as intense. The further away I get from that which I was running from, the further away I get from it, the less it has a hold on me. That sounds real good, except if that was the purpose for me starting my own business, now what was I going to do? So I had a burning desire to leave the environment. I had the burning desire to be my own boss, if you will, to be, to own my own business, as scary as it was. And it was very scary for me. I had the desire there. And basically, I burned my bridges. I removed all evidence of my looking for work. I changed all my social media profiles to reflect that I was a business owner. I wasn't in conversation with people who were hiring. That wasn't it. So I didn't have a choice. I had to make the business work somehow. And I did. But then there came a point when that wasn't enough. That desire, I'd achieved it, but what was sustaining me wasn't very good. It just wasn't there anymore. So now I had to come up with, what am I working towards? Why am I doing this? And then some more work happened. And this identification of what it is I really want. What is it that I am willing to put my energies toward achieving? What is it that I am willing to say no to some things, right? What am I willing to say no to in terms of social interaction? What am I willing to say no to in terms of distractions? What am I, and I went through the steps that are in this chapter. The method by which desire for riches can be transmuted into financial equivalent consists of 6 steps. First, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. I got to tell you, when I went through that exercise, it wasn't sufficient for me to say just a general amount over the next 5 years. It was better than just saying, I just want more money, or I want 10% more than what I made last year. Hey, boy, isn't that exciting to go after? No. I looked and said, this is from my business. This is how much revenue I want each month. Each month. Started out at a year, and then I said, I realized while doing this exercise that doing it per month was much better. But I also had in my mind what I wanted, not only per month, but at the end. What's the end? When I reach my end goal. You see, the purpose of my business is to enable myself and my husband to live on the road. That's the purpose of the business for me. The purpose of the business for customers is to solve their problems. That's the service that I provide. But the purpose for the business, for me personally, why I'm still here, why I show up every morning here, why I do what I do throughout the day, why I interact with customers, all of that is to get us to the point where it's the business that's supporting us completely while we're on the road. Took me a little while to really get that out there. I had to get deep. I'll tell you why. Because it was a dream at first. And even just writing it down didn't make it a goal. It was a struggle to even write it down, because in my mind, a dream is that, it just stays up there. It's for everybody else. So I had a little bit of work to do on myself, and I did. And I was able to have that out front. Well, when I did that is when I realized the value of having the desire for the riches in order to be able to do that. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I had fixed in my mind the exact amount of money that I wanted. I'm very definite about it, the end goal, what it needs, what it takes for us to be able to purchase the RV, to be on the road for each month. Next, and the second step is I determine exactly what I intend to give in return for the money I desire. That's my business, the problems that I solve, the services I offer to solve those problems. Mastermind groups, business research, one-to-one consulting with those who are stuck, primarily working on marketing messaging, outlining marketing tactics, training. I have live workshops and recorded workshops now available. They solve the problems. People don't know stuff. Think about this. Grow because you know. People don't know things. They come to me and I teach them. I train them. I find it for them. I help them understand. So that's second. I've got it. Those three basic services, I've got them outlined. Third, establish a definite date you intend to possess the money you desire. February 2017. That's it. More specific would be February 15th, 2017. I've got my date. You got your date? Fourth, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you're ready or not, to put this plan into action. That's when it can get a little hinky, right? I mean, and this tripped me up because I'm a planner and I'm a researcher and I'm a detail person. So I thought, well, okay, I know what I want. I know how much money I need. I knew how to do a sales plan. That wasn't a problem. Marketing plan. That wasn't a problem. So I kept it at that level strictly for the business. And that's what got me going. I just got moving forward. And as time has passed, the plan has gotten more refined because more opportunities have come in front of me that align with what I do, those three things, and can help me get where I want to go. Fifth, write a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire, Name the time limit for its acquisition, state what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. That's a summary of 1 through 4. Write it out. It's right there. By the first day of February, actually February 15th, 2017, I will have in my possession this amount of monthly income, which will come to me in various amounts from time to time during the interim. In exchange for this money, I will give the most efficient service of which I am capable, rendering the fullest possible quantity and best possible quality of service in the capacity of marketing and search consultant. I believe that I will have this money in my possession. My faith is so strong, I can now see this money before my eyes. I can touch it with my hands. It is now awaiting transfer to me at the time and in the proportion I deliver the service I intend to render for it. I'm awaiting a plan by which to accumulate this money, and I will follow the plan when it is received. I have that plan now. See, that's what I started out with. I have the plan now, and I'm following the plan. Yeah. All right, so 6th, read your written statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night, once after arising in the morning. As you read, see, and feel, and believe yourself already in possession of the money. Act as if. Think as if. Okay, here's where the burning desire comes to aid. If you truly desire money so keenly that your desire, let me make sure I get this right. Let me make sure I get this right. Here's where a burning desire will come to your aid. If you truly desire money so keenly, your desire is an obsession, you will have no difficulty in convincing yourself you will acquire it. The object is to want money and to become so determined to have it, you convince yourself you will have it. Only those who become money conscious ever accumulate great riches. Money consciousness means that the mind has become thoroughly saturated with the desire for money that one can see oneself already in possession of it. So who's already thinking, oh God, you mean I have to be so obsessed about getting money, everything else doesn't matter? Who else is thinking that? I remember when I first read that, that was my thought. Really? Don't we all know that it's the love or lust for money is to our detriment? Isn't it bad to want money, want to be rich? I don't know if you've thought that way. Feel free. Type yes in the comment section. I did. Because of the way it's written, and as literal as I am about things, that's how I took it. Above all else, no matter what, stake my claim. I am going to make this amount of money. Says to me, because of the way I work, well, everything else goes out the window. It's all about the money. And I'm here to tell you it's not. It is not all about the money. It is about making ourselves ready to have that kind of money that we intend to have. And that is what these other principles are all about. But it begins with the understanding that in order for me to live the life that I want to live, to be the person that I want to be, to have the things or the life, more importantly for me is the life of freedom that I currently enjoy, but I want more of it. In order for me to have that, it takes money. It just flat does. That simple. All right, so those are the 6 steps. And the author's telling us, Napoleon Hill's saying that it may be a further help for you to know that these 6 steps were recommended by him, were carefully scrutinized by Thomas Edison, who placed a stamp of approval on them. Not only the steps essential for the accumulation of money, but necessary for the attainment of any definite goal. Now, here's the interesting thing. These steps, if you notice, they didn't call for any hard labor. They didn't call for sacrifice. They didn't require one to be ridiculous or credulous. To apply them calls for no great amount of education. But the successful application of these 6 steps does call for sufficient imagination to enable you to see and understand that accumulation of money cannot be left to chance, good fortune, or luck. That's the point of this. We must realize that all who have accumulated great fortunes first did a certain amount of dreaming, hoping, wishing. Yeah, that's where I started. Then desiring, and then planning before they acquired the money. And that's what this is about, is prepping us, teaching us how to plan, how to be committed, how to get focused. And it applies to any goal that we set. So one thing that I'm going to be changing up about one of my mastermind groups, the goals and accountability one, is instead of having it begin with, what I have it set up now as is essentially SMART goals. We're kind of talking about, hey, we've got the 90-day that we're going to accomplish. Let's chunk it down so that every meeting you have an update and get help from the group to move forward, whatever it is that you're needing help with to move forward. And I'm going to be changing that to something similar to these steps. Because the first thing I have everybody do is to write it down. Then the second thing we have is we have a date, an end date, 90 days from the first meeting date. What I don't have them do is review daily. I'm just going to change it up a little bit. I think it'll benefit the members. Having done it the way we've done it works. I just think that they'll benefit more because it really does mean focus and attention. And what you're, that definiteness of purpose. This is what I want to accomplish. All right, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Does it make sense that you can apply these steps to any goal? Does this outline make sense now about how to get your own riches, how to achieve the riches that you desire, whatever number that may be, whatever dollar it may be, pound? Anybody have issues with it? Anybody bothered by anything that's written there? What do you think? Big shout out to Jennifer and Nisi J. It turns out she is my friend, Nisi J here. HMMS, Twitter ID, that's Nisi. Good to see you, my dear. All right, Sam, yes, breaking goals down into steps is a must. What do you think of the idea of taking the goal becomes so important that you're willing to remind yourself of it day and night? So are you talking about goals to get tasks done, Sam? Because that's part of what we do in a mastermind group, is to chunk things down so that the tasks can get done. Talking about one step further, to always be aware of why we're doing what we're doing. The plan's in place and we're in motion now. We have momentum, and to keep the desire burning, to keep the motivation there, to keep on track. That's what this is about. So I'd love you to get your headphones, Sam. Love to have you on here. Anybody else talking about definiteness of purpose? Today's world, we talk about our why. Corporations talk about their why as well. Talked about that. Been a part of helping a manufacturing firm. They had revenue of about 14 million a year, and we're making changes internally and their leadership and elsewhere. And we all began with organizationally, let's talk about the why and get everybody on board with that. The definite purpose, why we are here and why we do what we do. Hi, Sam.
Hi, Charlene. How are you?
I'm good. So good to see you. It's been a while.
I know. I just been kind of just popping in and out once in a while. But yeah, I wanted to explain to you what I meant by that is, and I do agree, you do have to focus on the big goal, but without the steps, sometimes you forget the big goal. You forget to get distracted, life gets in the way, and you lose focus very easily for a lot of people. And I think maybe that comes with age and maturity.
Okay.
So breaking it down, it makes it so whatever it may be, if it's monetary, then you can have, like you said, you set a goal for I want to make so much a year, but then you have to break it down into monthly.
Right.
Because then you can kind of measure and see where you at versus, well,
correct.
I didn't make enough in 8 months, but now, oh my gosh, I still have to make so many in the last 4 months of the year so I can hit my goal. But yeah, I've been getting more into slightly a little bit woo-woo, as I would call it, just to stay focused on your goals, because sometimes a lot of things come into play that would make you kind of pivot and veer away from it. Because most times, if it's a big goal, then things do get complicated, things do get hard, things do get challenging. So if you don't have that front and center, physically front and center, sometimes mentally you can just subconsciously, it's like, oh, I'm going to do this instead. Then you sabotage yourself and try to find the easy way. Because I think as humans, we're just naturally trying to find the easiest way to do something. And when things get hard, we can't help but pivot and, let me try this instead.
Discipline's tough.
It is. It's very, very hard.
I can be as committed as all get out, but if I'm not disciplined, nothing happens, right?
Exactly. And I'm the same. I'm very, very active. I can get a lot done. I have big goals, but discipline was one of those things, because I could just jump from one thing to the next and never quite give myself enough chance or enough time to get traction with anything. So it took quite a bit of self-development and growth to, as I got into my 30s, to just be more disciplined. So
I'm curious if you used outside forces, an inner circle, a mastermind group, an accountability partner, somebody you could check in with, a coach of some sort, paid or unpaid. If you had somebody that you brought into your plan to help you to be successful.
Here's the funny thing. I didn't technically, I have a Facebook group, so I started a free accountability group. And that was mainly self-serving for two reasons. To keep myself moving towards what I'm supposed to do, because you can't hold other people accountable if you're not yourself making progress. And number two, just to see how other people handle their own challenges and keep themselves motivated too. So, but I never actually had outside help. I kind of created my own little.
Well, you did though, because you did exactly what I did when I started this. I knew that I was in trouble and that I needed something to get me out of the funk I was in.
To keep you accountable.
And to keep me accountable. I needed to be committed to something, because when I'm committed, suddenly I'm disciplined.
Right.
That's how I work. But I have to be committed with other people involved, because my commitment is to them. I just, I'd love to be able to say that I'm committed to myself in order to do this, but honestly, it's not ever been something that's worked for me. So understanding that, I did a lot of searching all throughout early 2015 about how am I going to get out of this funk, And I got accountability partners. I showed up, they didn't. I got my own mastermind group, and it wasn't quite doing the trick. It was something was missing. And so when I started this, within a short time, within a month or two, And daily, weekday, right? Every weekday morning.
I noticed. I mean, I told you, bravo, you stuck it out.
I stuck it out.
Oh, you did.
It worked, though. It worked because
good.
then I started changing where I needed to change. But the commitment then brought the discipline, which brought the ability to do what we were talking about here. Understand it first, hear from others how you did this. Does it really work? Because I'd never done the morning and night reading of my final goal. You know, I'd never written out exactly what this looks like. I'd never gone that deep. And the deeper I went with it, step by step, the more real it became to me. And the more real it became, the more committed I was to showing up every morning, the more disciplined I am in my business. And then the plan really started gelling and being laid out for me, and it became easier to do it. So
that's great. And this is a fantastic way to start the day, really, because you're talking about exactly just changing your own mindset and while you're sharing it with everybody else. So it's hard, and I haven't gone as far as breaking down my goals, as you said, as deep as you have, but I did start, I chunked them down into monthly goals and so on. And because my mind is just very linear. So if I just do it that way. The other thing that I started doing like some affirmations, because I am just my personality. Sometimes you either get bored, which I do. If it gets challenging, but it gets tedious, then it's time for me to change just how my mind functions. So I have to discipline myself to kind of stay the course. And also just to remind me to stay on track, because there's just so many things that I could be doing with my time at the same time. But yeah, and I made my vision board. Never had one. Made one last year. That was the first time. So that was neat. I always thought they were silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I did a vision board, and I'll tell you why it didn't work for me. I was in the wrong group. I made a vision board with a group of women that were flakier than I was. And and I was flaky at the time. I'm watching them, and I didn't get it. You know, that didn't work, Jennifer. You know, here I thought I was the biggest flake in the room, and suddenly I'm seeing, oh my God, no, this literally we weren't talking the same language. You know? That's all. And you have to. That's why it didn't work.
Yeah, you have to put yourself in the right environment. So, but yeah, I think the accountability group I set up was awesome. I've shut it down a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was taking a lot more time, and they needed a lot more help, and so
Sam, send them over to my mastermind groups.
I know. I was thinking about you too. So we've been talking back and forth. Because it started off as a free project, so but then they needed a lot more help. So you have to strike that balance. You are still in business. When it starts taking up too much of your time, then it's a little bit of taken advantage of. So
I did a mastermind group for free, and I just looked at them after 90 days and said,
"That's exactly what I did."
Just how much value do you get out of this?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I got somebody saying, well, I added 18, well, not that one, but I've added money to my business. I completed my goals. I'm making money in my business. And I'm like, all right, so here's what's going to cost you now. And because it's not just me showing up, right? Just as you found out, it's not just you showing up at the group, you know, and typing in something every day for 3 minutes or something like that. Now we're in a group of people that need guidance and assistance and making sure they're on track and touch points in between. That's what I offer in my meetings, you know, that we have a mastermind group, and then you can get in touch with me in between for guidance about what we were talking about, my perspective of how things went, that's whatever. There's more involved than just, I just sit there and point at you, you're next.
Yeah, no, it's true. And that's what it was. I was getting a lot more emails, a lot more messages in between. And because marketing is what I do. So, and they're all independent business owners. So there was a lot of,
they want to pick your brain.
Yeah.
That's it. They want to pick your brain about marketing, about business, about being successful, all the stuff that they could. I'm serious, Sam. Connect with me. Charlene at growbecause.com. That's my email. Charlene at growbecause.com.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you get so much more value, honestly, when you're focused on what it is that you want. This all ties into what we're talking about here.
Yeah, of course.
Because when somebody's just quick emailing us to pick our brain, they're trying to get something for free.
Right.
And the problem is that the answer is right. The answer is exactly what's going to work, but you don't have any of the details of what goes into making that answer work.
Right.
You know, especially when it comes to marketing, because it's so fluid. I mean, your business is fluid, your customers are fluid, the whatever tactics you are using suddenly explode and they don't work, suddenly they do work.
Right.
You know, all of that comes into play. But if you have a group, like what you were doing on Facebook, except you did it for free, or like a mastermind group that I facilitate and that I'm a member of, I can go to them, I can get details.
Right.
You know? That's what we're there for. I can get details. I can get consistent support. I'm making an encouragement. I'm making sure I'm doing it correctly. It's not training grounds, but it's where instead of shooting an email off to somebody, hoping like heck they're going to give you the one answer that's going to really work for you, sit in a group of people. Again, whether it's the Facebook group or live on something like Zoom, where my mastermind groups are, just put it out to them and hear from them all the things that you never would have thought of.
Right.
And I'm a marketing expert, so most of the time I will step in the mastermind group to give marketing guidance. But I wait till the end, especially if it's a marketing question, because these people, they have the experience. And they start jumping in, and they're right on track. There's times I don't say a word. They've got it.
Right.
Look at all these ideas and how to do something, how to finish it, how to finish the sales process, how to close a deal. You know, there's been discussions about scripts. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. No, it was good. And actually, I invited a friend of mine because it was a Facebook group, but we met once a week through Zoom.
So, wow, and you did that for free?
Yeah, at least an hour and a half. So I actually invited a friend of mine. She's also an online business owner. And I just asked her to come and sit just one session to see whether my perception is real, whether there was a little bit too much brain picking for something that was supposed to be complimentary. And she confirmed that. But it was a good experience. And I learned from it because what that forced me to do was go through the process with them. And I helped them break down their goals and kind of turn it into like an actionable plan. Versus just, I had a yoga teacher. She wanted to launch a online cleanse program. Right. And, you know, so I walked her through the steps of what she could do. And so that instilled in me the habit over those 90 days to kind of break everything down. Because what I would have is say, okay, I am going to submit a guest post. That's what I'm going to do. So then I would just go and then write it, do a little bit of research, but there was no real process behind it. So instead, I kind of went back. And it's funny because my background is project management. So it's pretty funny that left to my own devices, that's how I was operated.
No, wait a second. Boy, we are fantastic when we're working for other people. Telling you, you give me your stuff, it's going to be incredible. My own?
No, it's a hot mess. So it was good. It was, it does help. It does help. Yes, we are. But I do agree. I do like the change in mindset. I think that being in business does bring is you don't just do. You have to do a lot of thinking, a lot of inwards reflection, and planning and reflection, and just kind of also monitor your mindset and your internal dialogue, because nothing is really easy. And if you don't have being in a corporate, you always have, you have the director who really likes you. So if anything goes wrong, he's got your back, nothing's going to happen. Or, you have the support. But when you're doing it on your own, you literally putting yourself out there, and then you put in a lot of effort into it. and then things don't work sometimes, then you do have to pick yourself up and do it again and do it again.
That's it.
And, you know, when it works, it feels great. But then in the meantime, that's where all the mindset work has to come in. Because otherwise they just say, forget this, and go back, get a great job, great money, and I get 2 weeks vacation.
I don't have to think too hard.
No, you just walk into the office and do what you need to do and look forward to having lunch with your colleagues. That's about it.
Oh gosh, if it were that easy, I'd probably still be doing it. For me, it wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
My favorite job, just so everybody understands this, was when I was a field service engineer, meaning I worked the field. Rarely was I seen in an office. I was a road warrior. I was terrific by myself for hours at a time. Not a big deal. Working one-to-one with a small group as my clients. I'd go in to fix a piece of equipment, to maintain it, to train, those sort of things. And I was a pretty happy camper. You know?
Yeah.
I would have been okay with that job. I still had a yearning to do something on my own, but the environment I was working in was awesome.
Yeah.
I got laid off. But yeah, no fault of mine. It just got laid off.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah. Going into an office in a cubicle farm, even with an office with my door closed.
Yeah.
Constant interruptions, distractions. That's not me.
Yeah. See, I've always actually enjoyed working in an office, having my own office. I enjoyed all of it. The reason why I stopped doing it is because, you know, my kids and my husband's out of the country a lot. So it just did not, you know,
there was a better way.
There was
a better way for you to be at home and to live and all that. Yeah.
Right. It wasn't fair to the kids. And, you know, I'm happy because my creativity is unrestrained, be it a good thing or a bad thing. But I get to do whatever I want. And then you have to bring in a discipline to make sure that you don't do whatever you want, that you stick to one
the
thing.
Words right out of my mouth. Yes, that discipline comes back.
Yeah.
That discipline comes back. But that's a sign of successful people. It's a trait.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we're disciplined enough to be able to rein ourselves in or to have somebody else rein us in. And I think the first step, the desire step, the writing it out step, prepares us for the discipline. Because not only do we have to write out exactly what it is we want, we write out in terms, in this case, we're talking about money. So in this case, we're writing out exactly how much money we want, what it looks like to have it in possession, what we're going to give in return for it. That's for you and I, that's a business. For somebody else, it's investment of income that they get from a job, whatever that may be. What are you going to give in return for that money? And what are you going to do with it when you have it? So it's all right. It's all there. This is the beginning steps, right?
Yeah.
Setting yourself up to be disciplined to get it. What are you going to do though? And making the decision now of what to do with the money when it comes in.
Yeah. And I remember you asked the question earlier about the thinking money. And it's funny. And you said the first time you thought about doing it, it's like, it's not about the money.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah, it was a weird feeling I had to contend with.
Yeah. But I'm still not quite all the way there yet. And I think maybe because it's really hard to think of something, right? Because we have a retirement home in Morocco, paid for, it's done. My husband has a great job. So it's hard for me to kind of pinpoint. I'm quite content if I have $100 in my pocket or if I have $5 in my pocket. I'm not, you know.
Your needs are taken care of.
My needs are taken care of. So I kind of envy people who do have a greater financial calling than I do. Because it gives them, I don't know, I guess you're a lot more hungry because you feel like you have to.
Good point.
Versus it's more of a personal fulfillment. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So if I only make $2,000 this month, it's okay. It doesn't matter. If I take the month off, it's okay. So yeah, I'm just saying, sometimes I do think about that when I hear people's stories and people's current situations. And it's like, retirement is pretty much
that doesn't suit you. But having said that, one other thing that I've noticed of people, and one way to get a burning desire for the money is, again, to determine what are you going to do with it. So if you have, is that the kid or a dog?
That's my puppy.
Okay.
That's Rocky.
Puppy in the corner.
Come here, puppy. Come here. My little handsome puppy.
Oh, beautiful baby.
He's my little baby. He's always with mommy. He's always with mommy, and then he brings his little ducky. He puts it next to me. It's like, whenever you're ready, we can play.
Yep.
Good boy.
So, but to have a cause that really suits you, right?
Right.
I mean, there's many people I know that are financially, they have the level of freedom that they need, similar to what you're describing. So now I'm doing things because I like to. But then there becomes a burning desire I want to do more of this because this is an area I want to be of service in. Or this is an area that I think is really lacking and I have the skill set to bring in. My core is, my core belief is that knowledge and education is the foundation to freedom.
Right.
Okay? Because you can't do a thing unless you know what to do, how to do it, and what the ramifications of not doing it are, until you're open to the possibilities and then taught how to do things. That's why I do training. That's why I love to do training. Always have. Yeah. And that's the end goal. That's part of the end goal of the financial freedom I'm seeking with the business, is that then I can really focus on knowledge centers. Basically, I'm thinking that my RV is going to be a rolling knowledge center. That's where people can learn how to find things, what it means, how to be better, all that stuff. Because so many people are just lost. And my approach is different than most. I'm not a woo-woo person. I'm not going to sit there. We're not going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya around the campfire. Nope. What we're going to do, we're going to get out the book, whatever the book is at the time. We're going to talk about it. We're going to say, this is how you do it. Yeah. Right? And as you're doing it, let's talk about it so that we make sure you're on track.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And I do agree. There's a lot of people who are lost too. There are a lot. And especially as more and more people go into business, especially with the online revolution. And just because you're good at something, a lot of the times, and I think that's where those of us with a corporate background do really can be of service, simply because you know what the structure is supposed to be. And then you also do know the benefits of having a system and a process in place. Yes. So we're not, as you said, we're awesome for creating it for other people, just not ourselves.
But again, that's why I have an accountability partner, a business coach, my own mastermind group, that's awesome, that I go to, meet once a month, because that's what keeps me on track. It helps keep me focused and stay focused.
Right.
I mean, I need it.
Oh yeah, I do too. And I think I've gotten so much better. Just as long as I plan it, I get it done.
Yes.
If I plan
that's
it,
me.
It's done. If it's planned and it has a date, I start manually first, and it has a date, then it goes into my Trello board. Then I plan it. It's all grids and frameworks. That's how my brain has to work. And then if I plan it and schedule it, I will get it done. So that's one of the things, again, a discipline. When you have that freedom, you have to have the discipline to actually schedule all of it, versus when you're working a corporate job, management gives you the deadline.
Well, that's it. That's just it. Somebody else is telling you everything.
Right.
Somebody else is placing the deadline. Somebody else is placing the priority. Somebody else is outlining the what needs to be done when, because that's what they've determined is most important. And we do the same thing when we're working with teams, don't we?
Right.
I mean, I do that with my team. I just had a meeting with my VA yesterday. And outlined everything and get us on a direction with a client, a couple of clients. This is the deal and how things need to be structured. I'm the one telling her what needs to happen and why.
Yeah, because I think we're also, yeah, exactly. No, I think maybe initially we think we can remember all of it. I think that's why. It's not so much being rebellious. We think because it's just you. So you think you can remember everything. You think you're going to stay on track. So you mentally plan it. But then when you dive in there, you're like,
look at all the things I missed.
Yeah. And look at all the things. And sometimes when you do plan things out on paper, you do find different things that you wouldn't have even thought of that you're supposed to do in the sequence of events that you're supposed to.
I learned that, honestly, I learned that with the sales process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did.
Because you have to.
When I wrote it out,
to everything.
Yeah. And that was quite a while back. Still have it up on my wall. I have a couple things up on my wall just to, glance at and say, yep, I'm on track. There's the tick mark, this first, this first, this first. That's what works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And eventually, yeah. So it's interesting, but keeping your goal in front of you every day, I say yes, you have to. Not just in your heart or in your mind, but actually physically in front of you. I have it on my board. It's on my shelf across from me.
Yeah.
And and then you also have to renew your motivation every day. You don't go to the gym once a month and say, hey, I'm going to lose 10 pounds by the end of the month. It's something that you have to do every day. Yeah. So that's why I brought in the affirmations. And they still feel a little bit weird, but I'm mainly listen to them. Just because they're just so, I don't know. It's the analytical mind. It just doesn't shut off. It's like, that sounds so lame.
Oh no, I get it. So, sometimes my brain gets to racing so much, I can't stop it.
Yeah. So,
fishing works real well for that, just so you know.
Fishing. I love to fish, but we're just not good at it. Never.
It didn't matter if I was good at it or not. It was the emotion. It was the being out by the lake. And relaxed, and the whole focus, the whole attention is on the bobber, or the bobber for panfish, or reeling it in for the bass. Yeah, that was the whole attention, and the consistent motion and the relaxing took a while, and it'll take a few hours, and then I'll find that the mind is just. So I think it's a combination of being outside by the water, consistent motion, nothing that needs a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm. Give your mind time to shut down. So here's a question for you. We're talking about desire today, right?
Yes, we are.
So does it start, for some people, they do something out of obligation, right? So there are a lot of people who started businesses because they couldn't find a job, they didn't have a job, and
they need money.
And they did something, they started a business.
Sure.
So that wouldn't be a desire, so to speak. They did something out of necessity.
The business, no, sure.
Yeah. So the question is, or somebody who starts something, for me, just because I like to work and that's why I started it. So does it have to be present from the get-go, or is it something that you develop the more you put into something, the more you invest?
I think it could be either way. Because I think also that applies to the plan that's revealed on how to achieve whatever it is, the goal that's been set. I think that sometimes we have the desire for the end goal. So that's what we're talking about here. It's not the day-to-day stuff. The end goal. That desire is pretty big, even if you feel obligated, right?
Right.
I mean, the desire, it's a big dang deal to be able to keep the house, to keep the food on the table, pay the bills, and have a little extra to go to the movies or go on a weekend trip someplace. Right? That can be, when you lose your job, it's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
So now, whether the sense of obligation or it's still a burning desire. You're just taking it, I think you're taking it from the viewpoint of, I choose to have that desire.
Right.
Or I'm responding or reacting out of the desire that's been forced on me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it matters, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much like choose, but maybe sometimes when you invest yourself in something, maybe your level of commitment was not the same when you first started out, like many people who do start businesses.
That was me when I first started mine. I had to get out of the environment I was in, the work environment. I had gone from being a field service engineer to being in an office as a design engineer to being in an office surrounded by people and cubicle farms.
Yeah.
And it was just horrifying. After coming off the field for almost 10 years, and being stuck with people. From 8 to 5 every day with people I don't know, I normally wouldn't associate with, really don't care about, and suddenly they think I should. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Be alone. So, I want to be alone.
They won't leave you alone. No, they won't. So yeah. And so it was a bad environment for me. And the location I was in, the job market wasn't very good. Never has been. It still isn't very good here. But so the pickings were slim, and I really had been wanting to be out on my own since the 90s. So I said, well, now is as good a time as any. Then they fired me. And that was a perfect time.
Yeah.
But that's what I meant by that's what I was running from.
Right.
I wasn't really running towards anything specific. I was running from all the ick, right? I didn't want to live like that. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to not live like that. It took me about 3 years to figure out what kind of business I wanted to run, what kind of business I wanted to be in, and to identify. And I got with somebody. I went to networking groups, and I met a gal who was able to help me define really what my skills were and where I would enjoy putting my efforts to have a business. And did that, invested in a business opportunity, and got started.
Yeah.
And that was enough for the first few years. And then I hit the point where I needed something to work towards.
Right.
And so that was where I had my own personal growth of something, what we're talking about here. Well, what is it that I really want? Why am I doing this? Is this any better than working for somebody else? Yes. But it's just getting kind of boring. I'm not sure this is the kind of work I want to do. What's.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, because then it feels like you're going through the motions, even if things are working out for you and you are making whatever you want to make or whatever you desire to make. Hi, Bobby. Yeah. So then you have to find yourself something bigger, because otherwise it becomes a job, I think.
That's exactly what was happening. So that all came into play. So I really don't think it matters where the desire comes from, to be honest with you. What I do think matters is that what Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, in Law of Success, in Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, and all the books that he's written, participated in writing, and those after, that all reflect the principles of success. I think what does matter is you come to a point where me personally, I want to be better. I'm tired of thinking like this. I'm tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of just going through the motions. I want something better. And so what these do in these books, and Think and Grow Rich specifically does, is lay out the plan of how you can do that. And that's why I think it's so important that we study them. It's made a big difference in my attitude, in my outlook, in my perspective, and my ability to stay disciplined. Just so you know, I'm naturally lazy. Anybody know that? Yeah.
I'm not lazy. Hi, baby. I'm not.
I am.
He wants to go outside because Lily's outside and he's inside. Well, you have to wait.
My preference would be to sit in the corner of the couch and read a good book. I could do that all day long.
I can't.
Study and learn.
Yeah.
Not mentally lazy. Let me put that way. Mentally,
physically.
If I could be as active physically as I am mentally, I would be in the best physical condition of any person I've ever met. That's me.
Yeah, for me, I'm always busy. I'm always doing something. I can't keep still. It's not, maybe if I just can't keep still, but I have to be mentally stimulated all the time. So I am a huge learner. And if you ever took the Strengths Finder test.
I did. I also took How to Fascinate.
Oh, no, I didn't take that one.
Have you done that?
No.
Sally Hogshead, check it out.
Oh, yes. I have spoken to her a couple of times. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. It's a great way to see how other people see you.
She's based in Orlando. She's here. Yeah, same city as me.
Yeah. Connect with her. I think you two would be great.
Yeah, connect with
her. What does it show my strength as? Oh. I'm the quiet intelligence behind the scenes.
There you go. Perfect engineer. Right?
Yep. I'm the one that makes sure things happen, get things done, plan it out, make sure people do what they need to do, know what needs to be done next, understand why things need to be done next.
Wow. No, I haven't. I have to check it out because I think I connected with her when I came across a YouTube video of hers, her TED presentation, and it was mind blowing. That was probably the best TED talk I've heard. One of the top 10. Yeah. So I connected with her on Twitter, just complimented her, say, "Oh, great video," and I actually sent the video to my email list. On Saturdays, I'll send like an inspiration thingy. So I sent it and I told her so. So. It's interesting, but yeah, the Strengths Finder, I took the test and it was interesting because I'm the analytical kind, and I am the what was the other one? Basically, we do things for recognition.
Yep.
And I'm the planner. I have to look it up. So it was interesting for me to kind of get that. And then if you do the MBTI, I am ENTJ, and it all lines up. It's just something.
I'm an INTJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, it's funny, 2 of my clients, once we talked about this, 2 of them were INTJ. So it was really odd. And we get along like perfectly awesome. Yep. Yeah. But some of them, they think they may be a mix of like the E and the I. Yeah.
Yeah, we can be extrovert if we have to be.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So it just takes us back to the desire and your why.
Well, recognizing who you are. Where are you right now?
Exactly. Right? So I think
knowing where you are right now, and where do you want to be?
Right. Exactly.
What does that look like?
Yep.
And how badly do you want it?
Yep.
Good stuff. So hang on. We're at the top of the hour. I want to close out the recording portion, and I can keep the room open for a little while for further discussion. So thank you for joining me in the live stream, Sam. Thank you, those in the comment section, for participating in the discussion. Those who are watching and listening, it's been a pleasure having you here. And those watching the replay, wow, thanks for staying with us this long. This is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know. That's www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Let's move forward with the day on purpose with purpose to grow our hearts, grow our minds, and grow our businesses. Until next time, have a great day.